Hello, and welcome to Japanese Craft Beer Reviews. Today we're going to start, I guess we can call it a tangent, a series of beers that are not craft beer, are Japanese, not craft, but from the four major companies, and also one other unusual characteristic. They are either low or non-alcoholic. And I'm going to be taking a look at all of the beers that the four Japanese majors make, and those four are Asahi, Kirin, Sapporo, and Suntory. And we'll look at all the available beers that are non-alcoholic from them, except one which hasn't quite made it to my area yet, which is a new one. Non-alcoholic beer or low alcoholic beer, of course, has a very long history. In medieval Europe, it was something that was called small beer, and it's been around in many countries for a long time. During Prohibition in the United States, beer was made under 5%, and of course, homebrew was made. So the temperance movement had an effect on the production of beer. Of course, it eliminated beer production, and people were looking for something that tasted like beer. In 1990, Anheuser-Busch produced O'Doul's, which became a big hit, and Miller had their Sharps beer as well. This kind of beer is very popular in certain countries in Europe, Germany in particular, and of course in the Middle East, where alcohol is frowned on or banned. It's non-alcohol beer is one half of all sales of beer. And we'll be looking at the characteristics of non-alcohol beer, and then in different countries which are popular brands, and then finally Japan. These beers are commonly lagers, but nowadays you'll find pale ales, IPAs, stouts, wheats, sours, all kinds. And I'll put a link to an article, a couple of articles actually, in the description section, so you can read more about this if you like. In many countries, non-alcoholic beer is by far the fastest growing sector, and that is true in Japan as well. Young Japanese are not drinking alcohol as much as their elders have, and beer sales have been declining for like 16 years in a row. And in fact, a bar opened in Tokyo called 0%, and it's apparently the first complete non-alcohol bar in the country. It's popular for its health benefits, of course, but unpopular among many people for a variety of reasons, and the most common is the taste defects. The processes that are used to make non-alcohol beer lead to a loss of aromatic esters, which are a prime feature of the aroma in beer, and also changes some other compounds as well. So basically, two ways of producing non-alcohol beer, and one of them is restricting fermentation, and the other is removing the ethanol alcohol from the beer. And restriction of fermentation can take a variety of forms. I won't go into all of them. Some of them are, for example, interrupting the fermentation, or cold fermentation to very low temperature fermentation to inhibit the production of alcohol. Special yeasts to try to produce a low alcohol beer. And ethanol removal, there are a number of ways to do it: vacuum evaporation, vacuum distillation, extracting through membranes, filtration, reverse osmosis, so many different types. And I read a few articles about this, and I didn't quite understand many of them. So in any case, breweries, there are a number of breweries that have produced beers these days, and you can find them listed many places, and you can find them in your market probably. Brewdog has produced Nanny State. Weihenstephaner, Hefeweizen, alcohol-free is another one. Rate Beer didn't allow them before, but now they do under low or no alcohol beer, and they have 3 categories: pale, dark, and wheat. And so a variety of very respected breweries are producing these. Weird Beard, Tiny Rebel, Schlenkerla, the smoked beer mavens in Germany, Mikkeller, and here in Japan recently, Kyoto Brewing, one of my favorites, Kyoto Brewing, produced a 1% Saison, and which is just maybe a little bit too high to be considered, but actually I think on Rate Beer it's up to 3% for low alcohol. So, and the beer is called Rebel Without a Cause. In Japanese it's Waka Genotari, which is translated as youthful indiscretion. So 1% Saison even. And some of the beers that we'll look at are made without fermentation. They're called beer taste inro, or beer taste beverage. And in general, the limit to be considered in this category is up to 0.5%. And we're going to look at a number of beers from these 4 Japanese breweries. In 2009, Kirin brought out their Kirin Free, which is a big hit. And then Asahi brought out their Dry Zero. Asahi Super Dry was the most popular beer in Japan. It still may be, I'm not sure, Super Dry. And they brought out Dry Zero, and that became #1 in sales for all non-alcohol beers, and I think it is currently. Asahi has 3 that we'll look at. Kirin has 4, and Suntory also has 4, and Sapporo 2. And we're going to look at 4 other beers that are contracted beers for the Japanese market. And when there's one more by Asahi, which is called Beery, B-E-R-E-R-Y, B-E-E-R-Y. And it's been released in certain areas of Japan, but not where I live, so we'll look at that a little bit later. Okay, so we're going to start with Asahi, 3 alcohol-free beers from Asahi, and then we'll move on to Kirin, and then Sapporo and Suntory. Okay, and let's see what we get. Okay, I can't say I'm really looking forward to this, but we'll give it a go. Okay. And here we have another beer from Suntory in the no or low alcohol line, and it's this one. It is called Suntory Karada o Omou All-Free, and that the meaning of that is, considering your body, thinking about your body, the health, considerations behind what's in this beer or what's not in this beer. Kind of an unusual design here. Clearly this is designed to look like a body. To me it looks kind of like the Christ statue in the top of the mountain in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. But in any case, this is supposedly a healthier version of All-Free. It contains rose hips, which is interesting, or not. In any case, it is like the other one. It is 0 calorie and 0 carbohydrates, and it's considered a beer taste in-real beverage. And so let's give this one a go. On Untapped, this one has 36 ratings at 2.18, which is just about a little bit higher than what the other All-Free had. And on Rate Beer, this one is not rated. There's no rating. It's not even listed. Until recently, I think Rate Beer did not allow any low or very low or non-alcohol beers. Okay, completely clear, and kind of little streams of carbonation, little tiny tornadoes of carbonation rising up more than in most cases, but it is completely clear straw, very filmy head, not much to speak of. Okay, this one does not have such a strong lousy fruit nose, cardboardy nose, only very slight. There's some light perfume in here. I don't know what it is. Rose hips, perhaps. I don't know. Wouldn't think rose hips would have a lot of aroma. It does have the regular, the fruitiness of a kind of raw, unfermented wort, but it's very mild. Flavor is, again, this is like a baby version of their regular all-free, less offensive. The basic nasty character is kind of there. I mean, we're getting cardboard, light cardboard, some mild bitterness, but it's very much toned down from the regular all-free, the main all-free beer. But still, there's nothing exciting going on here. Yeah, tastes like lightly bittered, maybe tree bark water, something like that, and that's about all. Cannot recommend this too highly, but I guess if you're thinking about your body, if you're Karada Omou All-Free, you may want to try this one out, okay, or not. Again, I can't recommend this or any of the beers that we've looked at so far in the series of low and no alcohol beers, but it's up to you. These are available everywhere. And as we've said before, it is the fastest growing sector in the beer world, low, no alcohol beer. So we're going to look at more from Suntory in our next video, next two videos. Got two more from Suntory to look at, and I hope you stick around for that. Thank you for watching, and please do subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment. Okay, bye-bye.